Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, the Introverted Reader, and today's video is one that I'm sure you've all been waiting on. So yes, today's the day. Today is the sort of second installment of this little project that I've been doing, reading a favorite author's backlist. Now, the last time I did this, I'll leave that video link down below. I was able to complete the 3 books by the author that I picked in the space of a week. But this time I gave myself a little bit longer than a week because even though that was really fun, and I am really proud of myself that I managed to read 3 books in a week, it did get very stressful and overwhelming at times. So I gave myself a little bit longer than a week, like I said, and I did complete the 3 books that I wanted. One was on my Kindle, and obviously the other 2 are physical copies. But are you ready to hear what author it was? So you're probably just like, shut up already and tell us what author it is. Now, this is an author that I love and adore with my whole heart. Every single book I've read by him, I've given 5 stars, but yeah, I was a little bit nervous at first starting this, but said author is TJ Klune! Yay! So these are the 2 physical books that I read, The Extraordinaries and Flashfire. But I went back to a very popular series of TJ Klune's. It's a series that's self-published. It is the Green Creek series. I read the first book in that series. That was the first one that I read. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, so what I will say, I did a little bit of research on this series because I didn't know anything about it. I knew that it was about werewolves. I knew that it was a paranormal romance. So like that wasn't what bothered me about it. There was a lot that bothered me about it. Holy God. Like, if I could erase my memories of this book, then I would. But I don't, Okay, so, if you were unfamiliar, in a nutshell, it is basically set in this small town called Green Creek, and we are following our main character, Oxnard, he starts off, in the beginning, he's about 12 years old, and then as the book goes on, by the end of it, he's like in his sort of like early 20s. I think he's like 24, 23, 24, well, 20 something. Anyway, by the end of it. So it follows like all like sort of like years of his life. And this family move in next door called the Bennetts. And there's something about the Bennetts that he's very intrigued by, and he becomes very friendly with their youngest son called Joe, and that is the one that he ends up being with in the end. That is the romance. But like, even though, yes, Joe is 10 years old when they first meet and Oxnard is 16, so there is an age group between the 2 of them. Again, that's not what bothered me because I did a little bit more research and I was assured that nothing untoward happened between them, whatever. It wasn't that bothered me. What bothered me was this weird, manipulative, toxic, red flag waving family, and their this weird hold that they had over him. Just, it genuinely gave me this weird skin crawly, icky feeling in my stomach to the point where I had to put the book down for a couple days and not look at it for a while. And I genuinely should have DNF'd this book. I genuinely should have DNF'd it because I'll tell you something. If the Bennetts lived next door to me, I'd be begging my mom if we could move. Like, does no one see the amount of red flags with this family? And they all made me so uncomfortable. The way they talked to Oxnard, the way they practically dangled Joe in front of him all the time. Like, he goes on a date with a girl, right? Which he's allowed to do because he's like 16, 17 at this point. And he really likes this girl, goes on a date with her, everything's grand. And then Joe throws a fit. And the family are all like, you never considered Joe's feelings. Like, you could have given Joe a heads up. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get permission from your 10-year-old to go out on a date. Like, you. Like, I had the weird icky feelings all the way through. The way they were constantly like, oh, there's our Oxnard, oh yes, he's one of us, and I'm constantly touching him and just yeah, I literally had to go onto Disney Plus and watch all of the wholesome Disney movies that I could to erase this from my memory. So I will not be going back to Green Creek anytime soon. It is a 1 star from me. And to be honest, I lifted out these two and I was honestly worried because I was just like, this isn't off to a good start. Like, am I going to scrap this video altogether and pick another author? Because I do have 2 other authors in mind for this video series, but am I gonna like scrap this? But then I lifted the 2 of these out. And these 2 have been sitting on my shelf for a while. And so I picked up the Extraordinaries. So go about this first. So the Extraordinaries, we follow our main character called Nick, and he lives in a city called Nova City. And within Nova City, there are these people who reside there called Extraordinaries, and they're basically like superheroes. As you can see, they're on the cover. It's these 2 that reside in his city. This one is called Pyrostorm. That's Pyro, like Pyro Storm. And obviously Pyro, he does stuff with fire and flames and stuff like that. And this one is Shadow Star, and obviously he can like manipulate the shadows and stuff like that around him. And Shadow Star is known as the good guy, and Pyrostorm is known as the villain. And they have like skirmishes every now and then, and Nick is like well deep in the Extraordinaries fandom. He writes fan fiction about them. And throughout the book, there is little excerpts of his fan fiction within it. And I really wasn't expecting very much from this, but I ended up really, really loving this. And I'm so happy to tell you guys that, because it was a little bit slow in the beginning, this book, because, you know, like world building and like getting to know the city and giving you information and stuff like that. But wow, this was actually so good. Like, this is the TJ Klune that I know and love. Like, I was just so happy. There was a couple parts of this that I did predict. It is kind of predictable, but I'll be honest, I wasn't even that mad. Like, I know a lot of people, whenever they can predict something in a book, it almost like ruins it for them. It didn't ruin it for me. And I really love Nick as a main character. He reminded me a lot of the characters that Simon James Green writes about. I kind of got that vibe from him. And if you've read Simon James Green's books, I do think you will enjoy this, because this is super gay, super witty, super hilarious, and wholesome. Nick also has ADHD, and I can't speak personally on the representation because I don't have ADHD, but I do think that TJ Klune handled that really well, and the way he described it. And I will give a little trigger warning for panic attacks, because Nick does suffer from anxiety as well. And there are a few instances in this book and in the sequel where he does have panic attacks. So be wary of that as well. And yeah, I really love this. Again, I did predict some stuff, but like, I really loved the ending of this. I loved it so much. I love the relationship with Nick and his dad. I love the relationship between Nick and his friends. And yeah, again, at the ending, I did low-key predict, but I wasn't even mad, because I knew. I was just like, yes, I knew. No one can tell me anything. Literally, if The Renegades by Marissa Meyer was gay, and maybe a little bit better written. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I gave this 4.5 stars. The 0.5, it's off by like the 0.5 because obviously it is a little bit predictable and it's a little bit slow in the beginning, you know, like the first half. But, you know, like, again, I understand, like, you know, world building and stuff. But this one, oh my goodness, I give Flashfire 5 stars. This was so good. Like, I could not put this book down. I had it finished like so quick. I mean, granted, it's just under 400 pages. It's like 360 something. Hold on. 60 or 70. Like 370-ish pages. So it really didn't take me that long, but I generally couldn't put this book down. Obviously, I can't give too much a synopsis on this one because it is the sequel. But holy crap. Like, this, Again, super gay, super funny, super witty, super heartwarming. Like the relationship that Nick has with his friends and with his father in both of these, because it said that his mother had passed away like 3 years prior. And a lot of times, especially in this one, it feels like he uses the Extraordinaries and writing his fan fiction to like sort of like fill that void that his mom almost left behind, you know, like not replacing her, obviously, because no one can replace his mom, but trying to like, I don't know, almost like ignore his grief, if that makes any sense. Like obviously he is still grieving, but you know, like he has a photo of his mom sitting in his room that he looks at all the time, and he talks to her and stuff, which is really sweet. But it's almost as if anytime the sadness creeps in, he pushes it away, and he, you know, just thinks about the Extraordinaries, you know, like he goes back to his fan fiction, which is, I understand having a safe space, but at the same time, it's almost just like, no, you need to deal with your feelings. You need to deal with your grief, my dude. Like, speaking as someone who is deep in fandoms and wrote fan fiction for a number of years of my life, I do understand trying to find that escapism, but like at the same time, my dude, you know, like my throat is getting sore. Hold on, let me take a drink. Hydrate, people. This is your time to hydrate. So anyway, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed both of these. After reading the debacle that was Wolfsong, I was very worried about this, but I read these two and oh my goodness, like 4.5 stars for this one, 5 stars for this one. We're back on the streak, my friend. Like it's like I said, every other book that I've read by TJ Klune, I've given 5 stars, and whenever I read Wolfsong and ended up only giving it 1, I was very, very upset and very close to scrapping this idea altogether. But like now that I've read these two, I'm just like, oh my goodness, like we're back. And I've pre-ordered the 3rd book in this series, and to be honest, I kind of was just like, before I started filming, I was like, maybe I should just wait until the 3rd book in this series gets here, and then I can just talk about this series. But I didn't want to do that. I'd put this video off for long enough, and I wanted to like make a video for you guys today and talk to you. So yeah, that is this video. I'm super happy that I am happy with myself that I at least attempted to read Wolfsong. I'm happy with myself that I at least gave it a try. I genuinely should have DNF'd. Like, it's totally on me. It is totally on me. You know, I should have DNF'd, but I didn't. And I had a very unpleasant experience, which is totally on me, like I said. But then these two saved the day. Get it? Because it's about superheroes. Save the day. No, you don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of this video. I'm super glad that I was able to do this again. Again, I gave myself a little bit more time. I do have another author in mind for this next little video project. Again, I don't know when that's going to be. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this isn't very exciting, but like I got a lot of comments on the previous one that you guys really enjoyed it. So I'll leave the previous one linked down below if you want to go and see what author I started off with for this, and then obviously after you've read this one, and obviously as well, linked down below will be my Twitter and my Instagram. They're always down there along with my Amazon wish list, and the subscribe button is right here, so if you want to subscribe, that'd be great. And be sure to ring the bell, leave a wee like, leave a wee comment. And have you read any of these books? Have you read these? Have you read the entirety of Wolfsong? If so, I'm so sorry. Never again. I never want to hear the word alpha ever again. Like F off with that bullshit. Anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be on Tuesday. I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Stay safe in the heat. And yeah, stay safe in the heat because big heat waves coming. But anyway, I'll see you on Tuesday for my next video. Bye.